her name is Donna Schlimmer. So she was on season 4, episode 1 of the Overwatch Collective podcast that I did in person with her. We sat for 3 hours and 42 minutes and spoke about suicide. Did not pause it once, did not edit it once. It was completely raw for 3 hours and 43 minutes. So Donna here is going to be touching on suicide and the importance of raising awareness for it, the prevention, and what y'all are here to do tonight to reduce the number of suicides and how it can affect our families. So without further ado, a round of applause, please, Donna Schlimmer.
So I'm here to share my story. I was a dispatcher with the local police and fire department, full and part-time for 22 years. I was married to a CHP officer, and I'm the mom of 2 great kids. I'm still a mom. I'm no longer a dispatcher. I retired from working, and I'm a widow and survivor of suicide. That's the term that they give for the friends, family, and the people left behind. These are labels that nobody wants, and I will have them forever. Because of the line of work he was in, I knew I could lose him. I just never thought it would be like this. Just over 18 years ago, my husband committed suicide. He got up during the night, he got dressed, he took his off-duty weapon, his ID, he went down to the local baseball field, and he took his own life. There was no warning, there was no indication that there was a problem, there was nothing to tell me that this was coming. I just never thought. I still don't have answers to the many questions, and I know I never will. That morning, the kids went to summer school. I started my day. I went out to get the morning paper, and I saw my local police department approaching my house. I knew what was happening. I had beat the knock at the door. I don't remember the exact words that I said, but I know I fell to my knees and I let out inhuman sounds. The kids were picked up from school. I thought that telling them that their dad was gone was the hardest thing I was going to have to do, but I was wrong. I don't remember exactly what I said to them, but I told them the truth. What I wasn't prepared for was the next thing. Out of my son's mouth came, "Who's the SOB that killed my father?" I wasn't prepared for that, and telling my kids how it happened was the hardest thing I was going to have to do. I wasn't prepared. There was a lot going on in the weeks and months that followed, and I had to figure out how I was going to move forward. I was almost obsessed with keeping the kids safe. I was very concerned about their health, physically and mentally. It wasn't healthy for any of us, and I knew to have to figure out how to move forward. It was just going to take time. So I got dogs. I highly recommend pets. I just don't recommend getting 2 puppies at the same time like I did. There were investigations by many different departments and agencies. Our personal life, our marriage, our family, our finances, they were all looked into. My husband's cases and his work history were investigated. Our lives became an open book for everybody. I don't blame anybody. They were doing their job. There's no resentment. They were trying to find answers too. Some of these people I knew personally, and I knew they were grieving too. The kids and I went through all the stages of grief. Sometimes we revisited them more than once. I still revisit some of them. We went to counseling and therapy together and as a family. We used the support through family, friends, parents, coaches, teachers. We realized that we had an amazing support team in place. Having these people in our lives, people that cared, people that wanted to help us, is what got us through. We asked for help when we needed it, and we took it when it was offered. That day changed everything, and there are still constant reminders. I still hate marking the box, single or widowed. I take solo vacations, and a lot of times I'm the 5th wheel at an event. Major holidays in our family will never be the same. We don't celebrate wedding anniversaries or his birthday anymore. There is no Father's Day in our family. We don't celebrate, but we do remember. He wasn't there for my kids' graduations. He wasn't there for their weddings. He wasn't there for any of their milestones. For a long time, I couldn't listen to music, and there are still movies I can't watch and places I can't go because it's still just too hard. I've never been embarrassed or ashamed of what happened, but I have guilt. Why didn't I know something was going on? What did I miss? What didn't I see? The guilt comes from the feeling that he couldn't talk to me. Why didn't he know I'd have his back and I'd support him? I've come to realize it's because he didn't want anyone to know. He had years of training to hide the feelings. Don't show the emotions. Keep it all inside. He was supposed to be the help in a crisis, not the crisis. Some hurtful things were said and asked of me. Why didn't I stop it? Why didn't I do something? What did I miss? What did I do that caused him to commit suicide? Some of these were asked as honest questions, and some of them were asked placing blame. I didn't miss anything. I didn't ignore the signs. It's because I didn't know I was supposed to be looking. This man was the love of my life, and I would have done anything to support him. I just wish he had known that. We've all heard the comments about holding it together. Buck up, buttercup. Don't let your beat partner or your coworker know that something's not right. There's a fear of not being trusted, not being promoted, being put on desk duty, or having your gun and badge taken away. For some, the job is their identity, and losing it is unthinkable. I don't know if that's the case with my husband. Suicide and mental health issues are silent killers. There's a stigma about them. We talk about it in whispers, in hushed voices, or we ignore it completely. This is part of the problem. I don't know what caused my husband to end his life, but I do believe he must have felt that this was the only option he had. I'm here to tell you it's never the right option. This just creates a lifetime for those who are left behind, those you're trying to protect. I can't imagine the pain that he must have been going through, and that's more guilt. I wanted someone or something to blame, but how could I blame the person who was going through so much pain? As I've said, there's still so many unanswered questions. So many years I waited for somebody to come to the door, send an email, a phone call, a text, giving me an answer. I was consumed by this. I was finally able to put that aside. I still think about it, I just don't obsess about it like I used to. I don't have the answers for my situation, but I've learned a few things. First of all, it's okay to ask for help. In fact, it's healthy and it's a good thing. Check in with yourself. Ask yourself if things are good, if things seem okay, if things seem right. Do a gut check. Listen to that little voice inside of you telling you that something's different. I still do that with my close friends to make sure that I'm still on track, that I'm still doing okay. Second, it's okay to offer help. Check in with friends and coworkers. Doesn't have to be anything formal. It's helpful for you and for them. You may feel a little embarrassed by it at first, and you may feel like you're overstepping, that you're out of bounds, but it's nothing compared to how you're going to feel if something happens. You have no idea the difference you could make by sending a text, asking somebody to coffee. The Overwatch Collective Buddy Program is a perfect example of that. Having people to talk to, someone who's in your corner, to make sure that you're not struggling alone and that you can get through this. There was nothing like this 18 years ago. I looked. I would have definitely sought it out. I'm just glad it's here now. And if any of you are so inclined, hit me up. I'm happy to have coffee with you. Seriously. In closing, I'd like to thank Greg and Jesse and everyone involved with the Overwatch Collective. Can't thank you enough for what you're doing. Even after 18 years, it's done me a world of good. As far as the kids and I, the kids are good. They're happy, they're healthy, they're successful. And for me, I just take each day as it comes. And most of them are good now. Thank you.
This is the first time I actually feel kind of tall. Donna, thank you. Once again, another round of applause, everybody. Thank you. All right, so if you, after listening to that, feel so inclined and you want to listen to the entire story, like I said, 3 hours and 42 minutes, it might take like 8 drives to work. But Spotify, iHeartRadio, the Overwatch Collective app, Season 4, Episode 1 with Donna.